أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس صدق الله العظيم. Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam ala Rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, so today we're going to be doing a very short surah that all of us have memorized. Okay, Surah Al-Naas. All of you memorized it, inshallah? Yes? It's one of those surahs that we probably, first thing we memorized was this surah, maybe, right? It's one of those first 5 surahs that every kid memorizes. Isn't that true? And if you compare this to the previous surahs, which took us like 4 lessons just to finish Surah Al-Rahman and Surah Al-Waqi'ah, I'm trying to do something different to give you a taste of the beauty of the Quran. So just like there's so much depth and so many lessons in the long surahs, like Surah Al-Rahman and Surah Al-Waqi'ah, inshallah, even in this short surah, which has how many ayat? 6 ayat only, right? We'll see how much depth the Quran has, even in short surah. So I'm trying to give you a taste of both, all right? Now, Surah Al-Naas and Surah Al-Falaq, the one before it, right? Surah Al-Falaq comes before and then Surah Al-Naas comes later. These are the conclusions or the concluding surahs of the Quran. You guys know that, right? And they're known as Al-Mu'awwidhatan in Arabic. The 2 surahs that have a'udhu in the beginning. So see, a'udhu, a'udhu, qul a'udhu, qul a'udhu. So they're known as al-mu'awwidhatan in Arabic. And I'll explain to you what the word means in a second, inshallah, okay? But some mufassirun, they actually claim that the surah that comes before Falaq is Ikhlas. And you all know that Ikhlas, Surah Al-Ikhlas, is considered to be 1/3 of the Quran. You guys know this? There was an incident where the Prophet ﷺ actually said that Surah Al-Ikhlas, the meanings in it equate to 1/3 of the Quran, because Surah Al-Ikhlas really talks about Tawheed and the oneness of Allah, which is 1/3 of the topic of the Quran. Okay? And so some Mufassirun say that these 2 surahs are the protecting, kind of like guardian angels of Surah Al-Ikhlas. So if you look at Surah Al-Ikhlas as the core, the center, there's Surah Al-Falaq and Surah Al-Nas as guardian angels to protect this surah, inshallah. Right? So it's really powerful. And Surah Al-Nas is the concluding surah of the Quran. And now, in any movie, when does the most important message come? At the end. Same thing with stories, right? Same thing with dramas also, right? Last is usually the climax and the conclusion. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose Surah Al-Nas to be the conclusion of the Quran, which means the message has to be very powerful, right? I mean, it's concluding surah. And also, what we will realize is the Quran doesn't end at Surah Al-Nas. So, one of the sunnahs of when you're reciting Quran is when you read Surah Al-Nas, you read Surah Al-Fatiha after it. Did you guys know this? You're supposed to read Surah Al-Fatiha after it. Why? To continue the chain. To keep continuing the chain of the Quran, right? It's never ending. Remember, the word Quran means being read over and over and over again. This book is read over and over again. And so, think about a pearl necklace. Okay, when it's opened, what do you see? You see different pearls connected together, right? But the ends are not meeting. There's one end at the start, one at the finish. Now, when you tie that necklace together, it gives you a beautiful pearl necklace, doesn't it? That's what the Quran is like. Every single surah is a pearl, and they're all connected together with a sequence to make that beautiful necklace, all right? So, the word a'udhu, okay, because I told you, these 2 surahs are mu'awwidhatan. What does that word mean? Mu'awwidhatan comes from a root word a'udh. A'udhu, a'udh, which means to seek help from somebody. To seek help from somebody, okay? And usually that help, it's sought is in something that has to do with danger. So you're in some sort of danger and you need help, okay? Because there's another word that we use for help in Surah Al-Fatiha. Who knows which word that is? إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ أَسْتَعِينُ, which means what? Oh Allah, we need your help. Now, isti'ana is something and isti'adha is something different. Okay, isti'ana is when you seek help in something good, right? In this case, Surah Al-Fatiha, we ask for help and guidance, right? But isti'adha, you see, just one letter changes the whole meaning. Isti'adha is when you are in deep danger and you need somebody's help. So if there's a fire in the building, you call up the guys from 999. What's that? That's considered isti'adha, right? You're in danger, you need some help. Okay? Isti'ana is, you want to borrow a pen, you need some help with your homework, this kind of things. A poor person knocks on the door, he needs some money. That's isti'ana. That's called aun. Aud is when there's danger. So one letter, just the noon and the when they change, the meaning changes. It's beautiful, isn't it? Power of the Arabic language. Now, whenever you seek help in a state of danger, right? There's two elements involved in this. One is who you seek help from, and the second is the danger that you're seeking help for. You guys get this? Okay, seeking help from. So in the case of fire, I'm calling who to seek help from who? I'm calling the fireman. Okay, so he's the one I'm seeking help from. Why am I calling him? Because what's the danger? Fire. All right, so there's two elements. There's the danger and then who's going to rescue you. So in this case, in these two surahs, we're going to see the same thing. We're going to see an element of who we're asking help from and what's the danger that we're asking help for. You guys clear with that? Okay, very important. So let's look at Surah Al-Falaq now. Surah Al-Falaq starts with قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. We're not going to go into details. We'll do the tafsir, inshallah, in the second class. But we are seeking help from أَعُوذُ بِهُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. We're seeking help from the master of Al-Falaq. Okay? Which is who? Which is who? Allah, guys, right? Who's Rabb al-Falaq? It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So we're seeking help from Allah, okay? Count. We sought help from Allah. Okay, so the blue lines are who we're seeking help from. Now, what's the next sentence? Min sharri ma khalaq. From the danger of whatever He has created. Now, what is that? Which element of the two, which of the two elements is that now? Min sharri ma khalaq. Is it the first one or the second one? Is it who you're seeking help from, or is it the danger? Danger. You guys see that? Okay, so danger number one is the danger of min sharri ma khalaq, all of creation. That's the danger number one. Next ayah, wa min sharri ghasiqin idha waqab. And from the danger and from the evils of the darkness as it approaches the night. That's what ghasiqin idha waqab means. So how many evils do we have so far now? Or how many dangers do we have so far? Count the lines. 2. Okay? How many times did we seek Allah's help? Once. Next ayah. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. And we also seek help from Allah from the evil of those who blow into the knots. Those who make magic and stuff. Okay? And نَفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ means those who blow into the knots. Okay? This is just a very brief translation. We'll go into deep translation later on. So how many evils so far? 3. You're all with me? Yeah? Maria, you're with me? Yeah? 3, okay? Then, last one, وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. And from the evil of the one who is jealous. The person who is jealous, or the one who is jealous whenever he expresses his jealousy. How many evils, brothers and sisters? 4 evils. How many times did we seek Allah's help? Once. Is that clear? Let's compare this to Surah Al-Naas. Remember I told you the Quran surahs are usually in pairs. That's like Surah Al-Rahman, Surah Al-Waqi'ah. Similarly, these two surahs are pairs. Okay? You understand in a second why. So, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. We are seeking help from who? Rabb al-Nas. Who is Rabb al-Nas? Okay, so just to confirm this, we sought help from Allah once from 4 different evils. Okay? Now Surah Al-Nas. So قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. We're seeking help from Allah, who is the master of all of humanity. Nas. Okay? Malik al-Nas. What's that now? Is that still asking help from Allah, or is that danger? Asking help from Allah, isn't it? Yes? So Malik al-Nas has become a second danger. Second time we seek help from Allah. Ilah al-Nas is what now? Are we still asking help from Allah? Whoa. Ilah al-Nas. How many times have we asked help from Allah now? Rabb al-Nas, Malik al-Nas, Ilah al-Nas. That's 3 times. Min sharr al-waswas al-khannas. Now what's that? That's the evil, right? That's the evil. From the evil of the whisperer and the khannas. We'll talk about this in detail. Any other evils in this surah? Any other evils? Later on, Allah just describes who this waswas al-khannas is and what he does. You guys notice something? How many times did we seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? 3 times. From how many evils? How many dangers? 1. You see that? Faris, you see that? Yeah. So what do you see in terms of comparison to Surah Al-Falaq now? In Surah Al-Falaq, we asked Allah's help once from 4 different evils. In Surah Al-Naas, we're asking help from Allah 3 times from 1 evil. What's the difference? Reversed. Again, mirror. Remember Surah Al-Rahman, Surah Al-Waqi'ah, mirrors? Surah Al-Falaq, Surah Al-Nas, there's a mirror here. Now, is that by coincidence? Is anything by coincidence in the Quran? No, nothing is, okay? So, what is the meaning behind this now? To make it very easy for you to understand. You want to switch it off? Okay. So to make it very easy to understand, wow, that's better. I can speak lower now, alhamdulillah. To make it very easy to understand, when I need to borrow a pen from somebody, is pen a very important thing or a very normal thing? So I'll ask you once maybe, right? Can I have a pen? And if you give it to me, fine. If you're not, then I'll ask from somebody else. Is that being desperate? No. But let's say you're in the middle of the desert, extremely hot, you're sweating, you're alone, there's nobody there, and you're thirsty. And you see a man very far away with a nice bottle of water. You're going to go up to him and you're going to say, please, 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 I need some water. Please give me some water. Is he going to give it to you, inshallah, if you beg him like that? Yes? Inshallah he will, right? You're desperate, you're sweating, you're nearly dying, right? So do you ask casually to that person, hey, can I have a glass of water? No, you ask desperately. And when you ask desperately, the person gives you the water, okay? So, in Surah Al-Falaq, now pay attention to this. Surah Al-Falaq, all these dangers, what do you see that's common in them? From the evil of Allah's creation, from the evil of the darkness, from the evil of those who blow into knots, the people who do magic, from the evil of those who are jealous from us. These are all external evils. Do you guys see that? Darkness is external. Creation of Allah is external. Darkness is external. People who do magic is external. And jealous people are external. Okay? Whereas here, the evil is the whisper in the heart, in the chest. Is that external or internal? Internal. It's Shaitan's whispers. That's big time internal, right? That's all happening deep inside here, which nobody knows about except you and Allah. Which is more dangerous? Internal evils or external evils? Internal evils are more dangerous. Which evil will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hold us accountable for? External evils or internal evils? Allah will hold you accountable? Are you sure for external evils? No. I mean, why will Allah blame me if someone does hasad to me, someone's jealous from me, or someone does magic to me, or some harm falls upon me? Will Allah hold me accountable for that? No. What about the whispers of Shaitan? If I listen to those whispers, will Allah hold me accountable for those? So which one's a more serious evil? Internal, right? So internal evils are more serious, we'll be accountable for them, and they are more dangerous. So doesn't it make sense to ask Allah's help desperately 3 times in Surah Al-Naas and just once in Surah Al-Falaq? You guys see that? Because Surah Al-Falaq, I mean, all these evils are external, so we ask Allah's help once, because He's not going to hold us accountable for all these external evils. But here, the matter is serious, brothers and sisters. It's a matter of internal evils. And Allah will, if we follow Shaitan's whispers, Allah will ask us on the Day of Judgment, why did you listen to his whispers? And so, we are in a more severe state of desperation. We're desperately seeking help from Allah. Therefore, we use His name 3 times. You guys see this? Is it interesting so far? Did you ever see this before? How many years have you memorized these surahs? Many years, right? And usually we recite these surahs in our salah because they're the shortest ones, to get the shortcut salah, you know. So next time you read these 2 surahs, inshallah, pay attention to this detail. Okay? When you're desperate, you're asking slowly. Rabbin Nas, Malikin Nas, Ilahin Nas. You know, you're so desperate. Oh Allah, help me from this evil, internal evil. You see why Allah concluded the Quran with Surah Al-Naas and not Surah Al-Falaq? Which one's more serious? Concluding surah has to be serious, right? It's the most important message. So, let's move on, okay? Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts off by saying, قُل. What does the word قُل mean? Say. Why say? Why did Allah add this into this whole thing? Who is Allah talking to in the first place? Primarily, who's Allah revealing this Quran to? The Prophet ﷺ. Okay? So he's getting the revelation, and in the revelation there is a command. There's a command to say out loud. Qul means to say out loud. Okay? Now there's 2 interesting meanings in this. One is, say it out loud, don't be ashamed. Say it out loud, don't be ashamed. Okay? What does that do to you? That breaks your ego, right? Allah is saying, say out loud that you need my help. Say it out loud. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. In front of me, you don't need to be embarrassed. Say it out loud. Okay? So one aspect of it is to make us humble and to have humility in us. That if you want Allah's help, we have to become people of humility. Okay? And that's what we do, by the way, in Surah Al-Fatiha, right? إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ, oh Allah, we want to worship you, only you, but إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ, we also need your help, we desperately need your help. You see, help always comes with Allah. Without help, can we do anything for Allah's sake? Forget it, right? We won't be able to do anything. So Allah is saying, yes, this is a very serious evil, the Shaitan. You want me to save you from Shaitan? First of all, be humble. Because you know what? Arrogant people and people who have egos, they never ask for help. They say, you know what? I have money. I can buy help. I don't need to beg anyone for anything. I'm smart enough to do anything myself. These are people who have that ego, okay? Whereas people who are, humble, they don't mind asking help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? They admit the fact that we are weak. And that's what we do in ruku', by the way. You know, when we're in a state of ruku', right? Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. We're showing Allah physically that we are weak. Okay? What happens to a person if you just knock him over when he's in a state of ruku'? Is he going to fall over easily? Yes, so easily. Shall we demonstrate with Faris? Okay? No matter how strong, no matter how many muscles you have, in that position, brother, all I need to do is this to you. And you fall down. So we're showing Allah, Ya Allah, we're so weak. We are so weak. And same thing in sujood. We're nothing, Ya Allah. We are as good as this dust. And we will return to this dust. It's breaking that ego. You see that? Just in one word, how Allah is penetrating that meaning. Okay? And the second meaning here is, Allah is saying, say it. And when we do say it, what are we doing? We are obeying His command. Right? Allah is saying, say that you need my help. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. It's a command, isn't it? It's a verb of command. It's called fi'l amr in Arabic. which means a command. And so if we say it, what are we doing? We are obeying Allah's commands. And did Shaitan obey Allah's command? Did Shaitan obey Allah's command of prostrating to Adam? He didn't. So Allah, in a way, Allah is hinting that you want my help, you need to be obedient to me. You want my help? You need to be obedient. Okay? You need to follow my rules. I'm your master. Don't be like Shaitan. Shaitan got kicked out of Jannah because he didn't follow my rules. He questioned my rules. Are there Muslims who question the rules of Allah today? Yeah. Why do I have to wear hijab? It's so hot outside. Why do we have to, pray 5 times a day? Why do we have to wake up for Fajr? It's so difficult. Why do we have to pay zakat? Okay, people question Allah. That's not the quality of a believer, right? A believer submits. That's what Islam is, to submit yourself entirely to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's your master, khalas, His rules. He's your authority. You need to be obedient. So many people today, they pray 5 times a day maybe, but they drink alcohol. Does that exist in society or no? Yes. So many people who pray 5 times a day, but they're bad with their parents. So many people who fast in Ramadan, but they have illegal relations with the opposite gender. Does that exist in society? Yes or no? So obedience is one of the key things that Allah is emphasizing here. So remember, number 1, obedience, just from one word. We're learning to obey Allah if we want His help. Similarly, in Surah Al-Fatiha, we say, Oh Allah, we worship you, Ya Allah, but we need your help. So it's as if Allah is saying, you know what, if first worship me, first obey me, and then ask for help. We don't say in Surah Al-Fatiha, إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ. There's a reason why إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ came first, and then إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ came after it. Allah is saying, worship me, obey me, accept me as your master, and then ask for my help. Okay? So obedience and humility. Are you with me so far? Yes? Obedience and humility. Just in the word qul. And then a'udhu. We said a'udhu means to seek help when you're in danger from something. Okay? Say that you need my help in this danger. Bi Rabbin Nas. From the master of the people. Now in this surah, Allah described Himself from how many names? With how many names? Rabbin Nas, Malik Nas. How many names of Allah are there? 3 names of Allah. What's the first one He used? Rabb. Rabbin Nas. And order in the Quran, is it by coincidence, or does order also have a significance in the Quran? The number 1 in order means the most important one. Okay? So what's the most important name of Allah that we have to memorize and implement in our lives? Rabb. Rabbin Nas. Okay? Since Rabb came first, that means Rabb is the most important. And Rabb is the most difficult also. Because Rabb means master. Rabb means what? Master. Okay? And if Allah is our Rabb, that makes us what? Slaves. That makes us abd. Okay? You are nothing but a slave. And the life of a slave is a life of complete submission. Does a slave get any time off on the weekends? Does a slave ever get to, say, you know what, I don't want to do this? Can I skip this? Can I skip that? Is it a full-time job or no? Full-time job. No escape from slavery, okay? So, number 1 thing, master. Rabb means master, okay? Which means we are His slaves. And you know what's really interesting? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduced Himself with this name in this surah, correct? What's the first surah that was ever revealed to humanity? Or what was the first verse that was revealed to the Prophet ﷺ? Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Which name did Allah use to introduce Himself? Again, Rabb. Is that by coincidence? And then Surah Al-Fatiha, which is a surah that we recite at least 17 times every day. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Which name did Allah describe Himself first? Rabb. Okay, so Rabb keeps coming over and over and over and over again in the Quran, right? Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. Which word did we use? Rabb. Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. Sami'a Allahu liman hamida. Rabbana wa lakal hamd. If you just count how many times we say the word Rabb in Salah, you'll be amazed. That's how many times we have to remind ourselves, I'm nothing but a slave, Ya Allah. I'm nothing but a slave. I'm nothing. You're breaking your ego. You're being obedient, Ya Allah. You're my master. You're my authority. You're my caretaker. All I need is you. All I need is you. Nothing. Nothing else matters. So if next time you pray Salat, when you're saying Subhana Rabbi al-Azim, stop and think about it. Stop and think about the fact that you're nothing but a slave. And Allah is your master. And you're honored to have that title. You know, Rabb is the highest title you can get, and Abd or slave is the lowest title you can get. But when you accept this title, Allah makes you the most honorable in His eyes. Okay? That's the highest honor you could get. That's why in Surah Al-Kahf also we start with Alhamdulillah alladhi anzala ala abdihi al-kitab. We're thanking Allah that He revealed the Quran down to His abd. Who is His abd? The Prophet ﷺ. Allah called even the Prophet ﷺ, who has such a high status, He called him abd. Why? Because that's the honor. The real honor we have is an abd. Today in the world, what do people have honor in? Doctor so-and-so. Right? Professor so-and-so. President so-and-so. King so-and-so. Prince so-and-so. Princess so-and-so. Sheikh so-and-so. The real honor is slave so-and-so. Okay? When Allah says, you are my slave. Alright? It's a big honor here. Let's move on. Wow, we're nearly done and we haven't even finished the first ayah. That's scary. Okay. So Rabb al-Nas, let's move on. Next name that Allah introduces Himself with. Malik al-Nas. Second name that Allah introduces, Malik. And you know, another version of this is Malik. Malik means king, Malik means owner. Okay, so both go hand in hand. Allah is our king, which means He is our authority. We follow His rules. Can we go against the rules of Bahrain? Can we go against the rules of the king of Bahrain? He sets the rules and we have to follow because we're citizens, right? He's given us passports, He's given us residency, so we can't break His laws. That's out of respect. Okay? So He's the king. Now Allah's saying, I'm the king. I'm your real authority. You follow my rules. Okay? And not only that, I'm your owner, which means I can do anything I want with you. Stop complaining. Stop asking questions. Why this happening to me? How come my dad passed away? How come my daughter's sick? How come I pray 5 times a day, but you know my mother's sick? How come I give zakat, but I'm poor still? Stop questioning. That's the meaning of Malik al-Nas. Stop questioning. Submit yourself to that Allah is your owner. Now, if I take this iPad and I throw it on the wall and it breaks into pieces, can any one of you question me for doing that? Yes or no? It's mine. I can do whatever I want with it, right? I can do whatever I want with it. Similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do whatever He wants with us. We should never ask why, Ya Allah. That's the attitude we should have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why when somebody dies, what do we say? Inna lillahi. We are nothing but Allah's. And we are only returning back to Him. And this is something that helped me when my daughter passed away. I don't know if you know this. I had a daughter who passed away when she was 19 days old. Okay? Very difficult time for me and my wife. But this statement, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, helped us a lot to recover from this. Okay? It took time. But the way I explained it to my wife was, listen, this was a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He took it back. It was never for us to begin with. She was never ours to begin with. Right? Gives you a sense of comfort. Okay? So anything that Allah gives us is not ours in the first place. The money you have is not yours. The health you have is not yours. Your body is not yours. Your family is not yours. It's all an amana. It's all a trust that Allah will take away one day. Okay? Next. So Malik, remember, authority. Okay? Remember this word, authority. When you say Malik al-Nas, okay? When you say Malik Yawmiddin, Surah Al-Fatiha, stop and think. Allah's rules. Allah's my authority. Next, ilahin nas. And you know, ilah, there's many meanings to it. I'll just explain one. Aliha, in the word in Arabic, means to lean onto something. Okay, lean onto something. And you know, I'll give you the example of stairs, right? When you're climbing the stairs, let's say I want to fix, you know, that speaker or something. So I have stairs on, and I'm leaning against the wall, which means I'm trusting the wall, right? What's the first thing you do when you put the stairs up? You check. Is everything okay? Is the stair solid or no? Because if it's not solid, what's going to happen? You're going to fall and probably break your neck. Okay? And if the wall is not stable, you're going to fall. So why do we usually put the ladder against the wall? Because walls are usually strong and stable. Allah is saying, I want you to always lean onto me. That's what the word ilah means. I am the one who you need to lean on to. Ilah. Lean on to me always. Depend on me. Can Allah ever fall? Allah says, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. Qayyum, one of the meaning of qayyum is always standing straight. You can depend on Him all the time. And if someone says, Ya Allah, I'm fine. I'm fine, I don't need you. What's that now? That's a sign of arrogance, okay? Arrogance. You see, just in this word, there's such subtlety in the meaning, okay? We should, in every step of our day, we lean onto Allah. Every moment of our day, we lean onto Allah. We depend on Allah. We can never survive, we can never move on in anything in our lives without the help of Allah. And the moment you leave this dependence, you're not being a proper slave, okay? So very important meanings here. Now, another interesting thing here is, you know, Rabb also means caretakers. How many caretakers are there in the world? Many, right? There's parents, there's schools, there's teachers. These are all considered, you know, people who take care of others. How many kings in the world? A bit less, right? So there's many caretakers, some kings, and how many ilahs? One. So you see how it's progressing from many, so from like many to some to one. All right? Many to some to one. So it's, and another thing here is that if you want Allah's help from this danger of shaitan, you have to live by these three names. You have to live as a slave. You have to live and be obedient to His rules and accept that He's your owner, and you have to always depend on Him. With these three conditions, Allah will save you from shaitan. And the whole world today is complaining that shaitan. You know, the other day this guy was caught in our bank, in my workplace. He was caught stealing from my colleague money. He was an employee with us in the bank, okay? And he was caught stealing money. And, you know, we were all shocked. Like, how could he do this? So anyway, they reported him, obviously. And they went to the police station. And at the beginning, he didn't admit. But then they threatened him, we were going to take fingerprints on the wallet and everything, and you know. So you better admit now. And so he falls into tears and starts crying and says, I did it because of shaitan. Who did he blame? He blamed shaitan, okay? So the whole world is blaming shaitan now. Allah is saying, you know what, don't blame shaitan. Ask yourself, are you my slave? Are you being obedient to me? Are you submitting yourself to me? Are you depending on me? That's when you get saved from the Sharr al-Waswas al-Khannas. Let's get into Sharr al-Waswas al-Khannas. Okay, from the evil of al-Waswas al-Khannas. Who is al-Waswas al-Khannas? Which evil are we seeking help from here? The whisperer. Al-Waswas means the whisperer. Who is the whisperer? Shaitan, Iblis. Okay, he's the whisperer and he is al-Khannas. Remember, al means the in Arabic. The whisperer. And Khannas. So what does waswas mean? Waswas means whisperer. But there's an interesting thing here. The word or the letter wasa is repeated, right? Waswasa. Which means, does shaitan stop whispering? It's continuous all the time, okay? That's like his profession. And with the L, that means his profession is Wiswas. Just like zalzala, which means the earth will keep shaking. Shaking, 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 right? Zalzala. Repetition in letters means repetition in action. So waswas means the one who's going to constantly whisper over and over and over and over again. Is he ever going to stop? Is he ever going to give up? There's only one shaitan who gave up. The shaitan who was responsible to give whispers to the Prophet ﷺ. That shaitan actually accepted Islam. You know, the Prophet ﷺ tells us this. The shaitan of the Prophet ﷺ accepted Islam. He submitted. He gave up. You know, subhanAllah. And you know, some scholars say it has to do with the purification of the heart that happened with the Prophet ﷺ when he was young. You guys know this, right? His heart actually was taken out, purified and stuff. So anyway, so keep this in mind, everybody here, okay? Never ever think shaitan is going to give up on you. Never. That's a sign of ego. When you believe that you are higher than shaitan, you don't need him, that's a sign of ego. That's shaitan. And whoever has an atom's weight of ego in his heart will not enter Jannah. We say this hadith every lesson, right? That's how dangerous it is. So al-waswas. Now, al-khannas, what does khannas mean? You know, I'm sure like, I don't want to embarrass anybody here, but al-khannas is a word that people have memorized and they're reciting the surah for the past 10, 20, 30 years. Many people don't know what this word means. You guys know what this word means? No, right? Unfortunately, right? It's sad. But al-khannas means the one who withdraws. The withdrawer. Okay? So waswas is when shaitan comes and whispers to you. Khannas means when he withdraws from you. The one who withdraws. Wait a second, does shaitan also withdraw? Yes, he does. When does shaitan withdraw? When one thing happens, shaitan withdraws. When we remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, remember this. Shaitan runs away when we remember Allah. So in this class, we're remembering Allah, inshallah, all of us, yes? We're reciting Quran, we're studying Quran. Shaitan has no access now. He's blocked. Because we are in the remembrance of Allah. See how beautiful that is? So you're connected to Quran, shaitan cannot get hold of you. If you're in your salah and you're reciting with meaning, you're understanding what you mean, and you're remembering Allah, shaitan cannot get hold of you. But if you're just reciting, Alhamdulillah, Rahman Rahim, you're watching the watch and you're scratching yourself and you're fixing your pants, will you get remembrance of Allah? Will shaitan get you? Absolutely. Okay? So, offense, defense. Just like in sports, right? Basketball, soccer, offense, defense. There's offense and defense also with shaitan. He attacks us when we forget Allah. And he withdraws when we remember Allah. Now what's beautiful about the surah is, how many times has the word Nas been repeated? Count with me. Rabbin Nas, Malikin Nas. Ilahin Nas. There's one Nas missing, by the way. شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. How many times? 1, 2, 3. There's one here hiding. 4, 5 times. And the word nas comes from the root word nasiya, which means to forget. Allah is highlighting something in the surah. You're going to forget, you're going to forget, you're going to forget, you're going to forget, you're going to forget 5 times. And the name of surah is Nas, the forgetful one. All of us are forgetful people. What's Allah trying to emphasize here? Because we're so forgetful, that makes it even more important for us to put an effort to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? Muslims today complain, my iman is low. I can't wake up for Fajr, it's so difficult. I don't enjoy, coming to Wise. I'd rather sit at home and eat some popcorn and watch a movie. Why? Because remembrance is not there. We don't put an effort to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So another meaning of khannas is very, very beautiful when I read this in tafsir. Subhanallah. You know how like sometimes when you want to crack a joke and you want to make fun of your friend, okay? Hopefully we don't do this, but usually when you bully someone, what do? You put a trap for that person, and then you go run away and hide somewhere and watch that person fall in the trap. And then what do? You laugh. You make fun of that person for falling into the trap. That's exactly what Shaitan does also with us. He comes, he whispers, and he goes, withdraws khanasa, he withdraws and has some popcorn and sits with his buddies and waits for us to fall into trap, and then they all laugh at us and they make fun of us. You see how amazing this word is? And Shaitan says this in the Quran. He says on the Day of Judgment, he will say, I only invited you. I only invited you. You're the one who accepted. He's going to make fun of us on the Day of Judgment also. Don't blame me. Blame yourself. I only invited you, buddy. You're the one who accepted it. Don't blame me. Okay? الَّذِي يُوَسْوِسُ فِي صُدُورِ النَّاسِ, the one who whispers in the chests of people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so merciful. He didn't give Shaitan access to our hearts. Allah didn't say الَّذِي يُوَسْوِسُ فِي قُلُوبِ النَّاسِ, which means hearts. He said sudur النَّاسِ, and sudur is actually the chest. Okay? And I want you to take an example of a castle, okay? Or a fort. Usually forts have castles in them, right? And castles are surrounded with a big gate or a big kind of boundary, right? Shaitan only has access into that boundary. Does he have access into the castle? No. The castle is the heart. Shaitan can only knock on the door. He can only ring on the bell. Who has the authority to open the door? We. When we open the door, Shaitan enters and he messes up our hearts. And then the heart diseases come, the sins and the temptations and the desires and the love of this dunya and this, the lying and the backbiting and the, judgments and all these bad addictions that we have to shamelessness. All of these things come when we open the door. Shaitan, please come in. Okay? So we will not be able to blame Shaitan, we only blame ourselves. Min al-jinnati wan-nas. Is Shaitan only from jinn, or are there other forms of Shaitan also? Allah is saying in the surah, wait a second. Shaitan is from jinn, yes, he's made of fire, but there's also Shaitan from nas. There's shayateen of people also, guys. Your bad friends, your bad company, the people who are bad influences in your families, in your society, in your community, in your schools, they are also shayateen. So we're seeking protection not from just the jinn that we can't see, not just Shaitan who we can't see, even from the evil of people who are around us. Do you all agree that there's bad people around us also? Who's more dangerous? Bad people are more dangerous. That's why the name of the surah is Surah Al-Naas. It's not Surah Shaitan or Iblis. Surah Al-Naas. Why? Nas is more difficult. That's why it's so difficult to have good company today. That's why, good youth are suffering today. They get excited, they come into deen, and then they run away. Look at the class now. Where are the brothers? Where are the sisters? How many were we in the beginning of the semester? I remember when I studied, Islamic studies, it was a part-time, 4-year degree, right? We started with 25 students. We graduated with 4 students. Yeah, that's the way it is, right? Peer pressure. Major, major problem in society today. Okay? The ability to say no when all your friends around you have girlfriends and boyfriends. When everybody around you is smoking, the ability to say no, I won't smoke. When everybody around you is not wearing hijab, no, I will wear hijab. Is that easy or no? Difficult, right? In our times, very difficult. The Prophet ﷺ said, there will come a time where holding on to Islam and your deen and your iman will be like holding on to a coal of fire. Can you hold on to a coal of fire? You can't. You let go. Okay? You see how beautiful this surah is? So many meanings. Inshallah, next time when we read the surah, will have an impact on us, inshallah, okay? Remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to remember Him all the time. The Prophet ﷺ, when he woke up, what did he do? Alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana. He remembered Allah. Before going to the bathroom, what did he do? A'udhu billahi min al-khubthi wal-khaba'ith. After coming out from the bathroom, what did he do? Ghufranak. Before putting his clothes on, what did he do? Alhamdulillah alladhi kasani hadha warzaqani. Going down the stairs, what did he do? Subhanallah, subhanallah. Coming up the stairs, what did he do? Allahu Akbar. Before eating, what did he do? Before getting into the car, what did he do? Before going to the masjid, what did he do? In the masjid, what did he do? Getting out of the masjid, what did he do? Going into the mall, what did he do? He read a dua. And by the way, interestingly, when he came out of the bathroom, he said, "Forgive me, Ya Allah, ghufranak." Why? Because the only place where the Prophet ﷺ did not remember Allah or could not remember Allah was the bathroom, because the bathroom is a place of filth. Which means outside of the bathroom, his whole day was full of remembrance. Now you understand why his shaitan accepted Islam? Yeah? So, you know, nothing is more powerful of a remembrance than the Quran, brothers and sisters. Remember this. The Quran is the most superior form of remembrance of Allah, and that's why we're doing that in class, by the way. That's why I've dedicated my life to studying and teaching the Quran. Because, you know, it doesn't get any better than this. These are Allah's words. These are not my words. I'm just translating. Yeah, I'm simplifying. But see the power of the words, the power of the lessons. But as soon as we walk out of wise, what happens? The waswas starts, right? And then you go into Salat al-Dhuhr, hopefully, you know, khannas, defense. Then after Salat, waswas. Salat al-Asr, khannas. In Ramadan, what happens? Khannas, shaitan goes into defense. In Eid, what happens? Waswas. When you go to Umrah, khannas. Come back from Umrah, waswas. That's our lives, right? So let us connect back to the Quran, and not just by reading, by understanding, by doing sessions like this. This dars of Quran is the best way to get your iman, you know, back on track and to get full remembrance. And you know, listen to YouTube videos of people who, you know, translate tafsir and Quran, and then memorize those surahs. So, you know, all of you memorize Surah Al-Naas. Now try to read. I'm actually encouraging you to read Surah Al-Naas now. Don't read Surah Al-Baqarah. Read Surah Al-Naas, because you know the meanings. Now you'll enjoy your salah. And I'll ask you next week. This is your homework. Recite the surah in your salahs and tell me if you had a good salah or not. Tell me how your quality of salah is. Inshallah, if your salah is good, your whole day will be good. Salah has no remembrance, shaitan will get the best of you. All right? Allah has given us a systematic 5 times a day program of reminding program, automatic. Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. Refueling, reminders. So we have to work on quality of salah, otherwise we don't benefit from this fuel. You know? It's like, you know, if you're praying without quality, it's like you filling up your car, but there's a hole in the tank. So you're filling up the car, you're happy, alhamdulillah, I prayed, but is the tank going into the engine? Is the oil going into the engine and the fuel? It's falling down, there's a hole. Why? Because there's no quality. All right, so with that we conclude. Subhanakallah bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Anybody has any questions? No? All ready to get shaitan into khannas? Inshallah. Barakallahu alaykum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.